Hey everyone, how's it going? Total Level here with a little quick video for all of you. So, Trails Through Daybreak is coming up very soon for all of us, right? And there's been a lot of debate lately about which trails you should start with. Is it okay to start with Daybreak and things like that, right? And want to give my kind of personal journey with Trails here because there's been a lot of debate of, people saying like it's okay to start with any arc and all that, whatever gets you into the series, while others are more on the other side of you have to start in order, start with the Sky series, that's how you get the most out of the series, that's the most authentic way, and yeah, everyone's going to have their own opinions. For me personally, to me, video games are fun, right? And however, people have fun with games is up to them, and whatever gets them into a series, I'm really happy for that, right? Because, the more people I can have fun conversations with through, say, the Trail series, then, yeah, I completely welcome it. And for me personally, my first game was Trails of Cold Steel here, and I want to kind of tell my kind of journey because I discovered this game pretty much accidentally, right? I never heard of the series before or anything like that, so kind of want to say kind of my side, but, however you feel like, not saying any way is right or wrong, I'm just giving my personal thoughts on this, right? So, yeah, not trying to convince anyone otherwise, just for me personally, games are fun, and yeah, if it helps you get into a series. Plus, I feel like if you're talking about authenticity, then that kind of means to me that you should maybe also learn Japanese, right? And buy the Japanese versions of these games because that was the original version of those games, right? But, I'm that's kind of how I feel, and obviously I'm not going to say, that's what people should do for authentic, but, it's just kind of one of those weird things to me personally, but again, to each their own, no right or wrong here, and we all have our own thoughts and opinions, so yeah, we'll start, and won't talk too much about Cold Steel because I recently did a video on this of my JRPG flashback series, so but for this game, the way I discovered it is back, and it would have been 2014 or 2015 when PlayStation started PlayStation Now, and, I was just kind of scrolling through the games, right, and, because I think at first it started as a pure rental service. You had to pick a game and rent it for a day, a week, whatever, and then eventually they turned it more of a subscription service where you got a library of games, and I waited till, there was a library, and Cold Steel was one of them, so I tried the 1 week trial, really got hooked on it. I thought it was such a interesting story. I was really involved with the characters right away, it was just, it grabbed my attention just instantly, right? I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool, right? And so I extended that 3 week trial to a 1 month kind of subscription. I canceled it after that because there wasn't much on there that I wanted to play, but I did want to finish Cold Steel. And so going through the game, I didn't know this was a massive series. I wasn't that familiar with Falcom at all. My only game that I remember playing and I didn't even know it was Falcom was Legacy of the Wizard on NES, right? And yeah, that was kind of my only experience with Falcom up to this point, and so playing this, it was just interesting to see, playing as Rean Schwarzer, going to this military academy in Trista called Thor's, and learning about all the, politics and the struggles that each nation is struggling with, right? And starting this one in Erebonia. And so, once I beat it, especially after the cliffhanger ending of Cold Steel 1, I was hooked on the series. I wanted more, so yeah, I did my research, just quick Googling and everything like that. And yeah, just came across of like, okay, this is a massive series that somehow I didn't know anything about, because at this time too, and even now, like, I wasn't much on going on the internet, having social media, anything like that, so I didn't really talk to a lot of people. And yeah, like I say, even now I'm still trying to get better with that, because I'm so bad with things like Twitter and or X or whatever you want to call it, right? And things like that of actually updating people or saying anything on those sites, right? But trying to get better each day. And so yeah, and that's how I discovered, okay, there's this whole Sky trilogy that originally came out on the PSP. And I remember on my Vita I was thinking maybe I'll buy this on here digitally, but I kind of held off because I saw the whole trilogy was on sale through Steam, right? So it's like, okay, I'll just buy those and play them. And yeah, it was really cool experiencing it after Cold Steel for me personally, because it was kind of like playing a prequel, right? Having, these new characters of Estelle and Joshua, right? Becoming bracers, and the whole nation of Liberal. And yeah, it was really, really cool to kind of see the build-up of what would lead into the events of Cold Steel. So to me, that's how I kind of approached this, playing sort of this prequel, right? And then, for the Crossbell games, Trails from Zero and Trails to Azure, we didn't get those games until just recently, right? Like late 2022 and then kind of early 2023 for an actual release of those games, right? So originally, yeah, I bought the Japanese versions and just followed a walkthrough that would kind of detail things at first, because I wasn't sure if we were getting those games at all, right? And then we got them, so I stopped playing those versions and played, yeah, the English. And man, it was really neat because, I played Cold Steel 3 and 4 at this point, and of course in those games you get to visit Crossbell, and it was really, really neat to see Crossbell kind of almost like it was demade, right? Which obviously, those Crossbell games came out before Cold Steel, but that's just kind of my approach with it. It's like, oh, I saw Crossbell for the first time in this kind of 3D environment. Now I get to see it in this pixelated environment, right? And that was just really, really neat for me, and was also cool to finally kind of connect the dots, because Cold Steel, because I think Zero takes place before Cold Steel, and then Cold Steel and Azure kind of happen simultaneously. So that was really neat, of having certain aspects from those games kind of coincide with each other, right? Because that's my big experience with the whole just Trails series, is it was really cool to have these, connected stories. Like, I haven't seen a game really do this. Like, yes, we get sequels to games, but I don't really remember games doing this whole thing where they have one series of characters doing some, major events in another area, while another group of characters in a separate series within the same series is doing their own thing, right? And all the events of each game kind of happen, and that was really, really neat. And so for my personal experience of starting with Trails of Cold Steel, because this is something I heard about too, is a lot of people say if you don't start at the beginning, if you don't start kind of, in order at these games, then it ruins the experience for you, or it lessens it. And for me, that was not the case. It made me fall in love even more, knowing there was a series that did something like that. Sorry, I think I gave a bit of glare there. Oh, I'm sorry about that, but yeah, it was such a cool series that I want to explore, and for me, again, I didn't know about this, so I would say for a lot of people, like, my personal thoughts is, you know, don't worry if you're starting with Trails Through Daybreak or a different arc or whatever, yes, there's going to be some references, some characters that you're not going to really understand, but that could also enhance some of your experiences. If you really enjoyed the series, you may want to go and revisit the older games, because the thing I think a lot of people have to realize too is this is a massive series. Each game is like 50 to 100 plus hours long, and once Trails Through Daybreak comes out, that's going to be 11 main games for us in North America, and of course there's the second game through this series, and then I think a few months ago Falcom announced the next iteration of the Trails games, right? So you're talking over 1,000 hours most likely if you enjoy these games too, because they encourage second playthroughs, new game pluses, right? So that's a lot of time commitment, and so for people, I think they want to kind of experience maybe something like Trails Through Daybreak to see if this is a series that's going to be for them. And I played the demo, and still patiently waiting for the full game, right? But even through the demo, I'm like, new people could really get into this because you have new characters, and it's because there are returning ones, but again, I felt like, just like with Cold Steel, there were returning characters from other games in that one too, but I didn't feel like I was completely missing out. Yes, would my experience be enhanced or different if I started from the beginning? Sure, I can't I can't say for sure otherwise, so yeah, it probably would be, but the way I discovered this series is very special to me because I discovered it on my own, and that's what I really just cherish about it, right? So I really love this series, and yeah, that's just my take. You guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree, disagree with me? And please keep it respectful, because I know this is kind of a heated topic lately, but yes, please just, whether you agree or disagree with me or anyone else in the comments, just please respect one another. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time, everyone. Thanks, have a great rest of your day. Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and comment, and subscribe if you want to see more, or if you just want to see any of my skits and then nothing else and leave the video, that's fine too. Thanks everyone, take care.